We're here once again with Coach Brock Moreaux, New Orleans distance coach. And Coach, obviously, you're in an important block of the season here in terms of training. Could you kind of just explain to the casual fan, because looking at the schedule, they might see, oh, you're off for a couple of weeks here, but that's obviously not the case. Could you just kind of explain to the fans where you guys are at your training and kind of where you're at in the progression as you get into the championship season here?
Yeah, so this week was actually probably one of our more important weeks of the season. Even though we're technically not racing, it was a big week of training for us. 2 weeks out from the conference meet today, so we had a pretty big week. I guess both kind of turning up the intensity a little bit, but also getting ready for the big race day. Typically, I do like to do a race about 2 weeks out, but this year we kind of sacrificed to run at a big meet like Florida State. So I still had to kind of make sure that we're doing what we need this week, and kind of so that whenever we do show up in 2 weeks, we kind of have that similar feeling. So that this week was more of still keeping that intensity up, but also making sure that the real goal is still in 3 weeks.
So, Coach, you touched on the Florida State Invitational there. How important is it getting into a meet of that, not only of that size, but with the feel that something like that produces right before the championship season here?
The thing is, as we become more competitive as a program, we're going to have to go out and try to get some more really competitive meets. So Florida State was a really good chance for us this year. They had probably one of the largest fields in the meet history. Also a lot of really ranked teams, so it was good to go out there and get a chance to dabble with some really good athletes, really good teams, because it's going to be fairly similar when we step up the conference. The Southland Conference is really competitive in the distance event, so now we kind of got that feeling and that focus going into, so that's what I think we're going to draw the most from that Florida State meet.
And then, not to get too much into your game plan, obviously, as we don't want to reveal everything, but kind of what is that plan for conference and then regionals? It's obviously the first time, quite a few years, that both the men's and women's teams will be running at the South Central Regionals. Kind of just what's your plan heading into these big meets here?
Conference-wise, we're just trying to be really competitive. This will be probably the first time in several years that we have a full women's squad that should be able to go in there and be competitive throughout. Obviously, Arena's been running really good this year, so we're going to try to keep the momentum going there. On the men's side, same theme. We're really competitive this year, so the goal will be to kind of get in that top bit and try to dabble with some of the top teams. I think it'll be, because right now there's no real favorite, no real underdog. Everybody's kind of sitting right in the same. Depending on the day, you could be third or you could be eighth, just depending on who's kind of got it on the day. So our goal is to make sure that we're there on the day. And then regional wise, we're planning to bring both squads. It'll be, like you said, the first time in several years that we have both a men and a women's squad that'll be competing there. Arena should have a good chance to do some damage there, so we're gonna put a lot of focus on that. And then I think that the guys have a chance to crack that top 15, so that's something we got our eye on.
All right, perfect. And Van, those dates that Coach was talking about, Southland Conference Championships is November 1st, and then following that 2 weeks later is the NCAA South Central Regional, and that's November 15th. Thanks for joining us today, Coach.
Thanks.